Ah, the gravel bike, a fine example of a bike made for everything, while not really being brilliant at anything. Well, okay, it is good at actual gravel, I'll give it that. But here in the UK, actual gravel is few and far between for most of us. And although the gravel bike can be ridden pretty much on anything and everything, doesn't actually mean they are the best tool for the job. Sure, if you like to test your skills over some mountain bike terrain on the gravel bike, go for it, it's great fun. Load that gravel bike up for a UK bikepacking trip, and sometimes them routes can be a little bit on the rough side, making you wish you had something a little more capable. In today's video, I wanted to share my favourite UK bikepacking routes that are actually fun on a gravel bike. Actual routes in the UK that are best done on a gravel bike. The Cantii Way is one of them routes that is just perfect for your gravel bike, especially if you are very new to riding off-road. This route is mostly on paved surfaces with the occasional stint on nice hard packed off-road sections. It's a route very much suited for the gravel bike because you are jumping from them coastal paths to a bit of off-road where your fast rolling tyres will fly. There is never anything too rough along this route, so you don't need to even worry about being underbiked. This route is also quite a flat route with not a huge amount of climbing, so that road positioning will be your biggest advantage along them coastal sections when the wind starts to blow. You can really sit back and use that gravel bike pedalling efficiency on the Cantii Way. The New Forest gravel bikepacking route is another great route for your gravel bike, and I don't really need to explain why, right? I said the gravel bike is actually good on actual gravel, and well, the New Forest does have that gravel in abundance. Actually, nearly the whole route is actual maintained gravel, so it is a really solid choice if you want to really experience your bike for its intended purpose. There isn't too much more to say on the matter here, because if you want a gravel bike route that has probably the most actual gravel tracks than anything else in a route, then the New Forest is probably the way to go. The North Downs Way is a fantastic little route, especially if you are London based, as it starts in Farnham and you can follow it all the way to Devon. And while the route doesn't really have a whole lot of actual gravel tracks, it is mostly single track. The tracks are well packed down and pretty smooth for the most part, making a fun route to take on your gravel bike. Lots of flowing fun to be had on this route that does have a fair few road slogs, which will make you grateful to be on the gravel bike. If you want to feel what it's like to fly through some nice flowing but not that technical single track, then this is a route you will enjoy, and it is a great adventure to be had on your gravel bike. I know, I'm a bit biased with this one with being the person who put it together, but when I put the 370 miles of smiles together, I put it together to be a really efficient and fun route for the gravel bike, with lots of wide open gravel tracks, some fast and flowy single track, some great views and a few little challenges along the way. I really enjoy this route because it has a bit of everything. This route covers a fair amount of distance, which is something I really like to do if you haven't noticed, but it does it in a way that doesn't feel tedious, with minimal, if any, hiker bike depending on your fitness. And some of the best actual gravel roads and tracks in the south of England. Although good fitness is required for this route, the route itself isn't overly technical, making the gravel bike the best tool for the job. East Devon Trail is like a half and half route. Half off-road, mostly consistent of slightly rougher gravel tracks, and the other half more on paved surfaces. A half and half bikepacking route, just like the half and half gravel bike. Part road, part mountain bike. So it makes sense that this route is going to be the perfect route to use your gravel bike on. This route is one of them routes that anything more than a gravel bike and you will most likely find yourself overbiked, especially with the second half of this route being mostly on paved surfaces. It's a route with some really fun riding, sometimes starting to push your gravel bike but never far enough for it to feel too much. A great route for your gravel bike. A route that will test you at the beginning and ease off at the end, just the way I like a bikepacking adventure. The old chalk way is a route optimised to ride a gravel bike on. It does have a few rough sections here and there with some steep stuff, so a little bit of bike handling skill is required, but overall this is a route that is perfect for the gravel bike. The route was literally made to flow, and flow it does, which makes it a great route for the gravel bike as it avoids anything that would be too much bother for it. This route hits some of the best sections of off-road trails you will find in the south of England. It does start out tough with some of the climbs, but it all flattens out towards the end to give you a very satisfying finish to the adventure. And I wouldn't want to do it on any other bike than a gravel bike. This one is honestly the best of the best for the gravel bike. And I know when I did it, I complained about the last 50 miles, but the second city divide is actually my favorite actual gravel bike friendly bikepacking route. It by far has the best of the best actual gravel roads. When it wasn't on the gravel roads, it was flowing through the valleys with absolutely amazing views and riding. As far as gravel bike adventures go, I feel this route is really what it's about. Getting yourself from A to B, not always taking the easiest option to give yourself a challenge, but at the same time finding ways to make the challenging times more rewarding with some of the absolute best gravel bike riding. Whether that be through the many perfectly maintained wind farms or coming through the Scottish valleys or the epic Yorkshire Dale roads. This route is the perfect adventure for your gravel bike. So there we have it, the bikepacking routes I think that you and your gravel bike will be most happiest on. Now I know that there are a lot of other routes out there in the UK, but these ones are the ones I think are more suited for the gravel bike. That's not to say you won't enjoy yourself on the many other routes on your gravel bike, and if you were thinking of taking on a route that is not on this list, don't let that stop you getting out there on the adventure. Get out there and keep smiling and enjoy the adventure.